come to the right place when you can just walk right up and hang with a cheetah. Yes, one of the many perks to traveling around South Africa is the fact that every so often you can find a shelter and get acquainted with some of the country's most noble beasts. And if you're lucky, they're absurdly cute cubs. But it occurred to me as I was examining the very imposing creature in front of me that South Africa's reputation as the land strictly for non-vegetarians has as much to do with these predators as well the two-legged kinds, namely us. I do not deny that my love of meat is a pure and wondrous thing, and certainly Africa has done much to feed it. But I was equally pleased to discover that side by side is a growing movement to celebrate the land's amazing flora as well as the fauna. Happily, I love vegetables with equal fervor, and so when I found myself at a local weekend organic market, Orania's, I was neither surprised nor disappointed that it was a place that catered far more to gatherers than to hunters. Yes, there was some meat on offer, but the focus here was clear.
This seems to be the biggest party in town.
We wish. We don't have much of a party here, but we're selling a concept that is more than just vegetables. It's about building community.
Yeah.
It's about people coming together to enjoy the neighborliness,
right,
to get to know each other, to enjoy their parks,
right,
and to take back their parks, because previously this place was a place that nobody wanted to go to. We all volunteers, we decided to give it a little bit of love.
Wow.
And look at what's happened. And then that was the site of an original farm 250 years ago.
Wow.
So we brought the farm back to Aranjaza. We have vegan, we have sugar-free, we have gluten-free. We have Banting bread that has got no wheat in it. And that is the hallmark of our market. We try and offer healthy alternatives. And we don't tempt children with sugar.
Anyone who's paid any attention to the show would know that's not usually my poison, and yet here I was charmed and most crucially tempted. Take the condiments, so many of them.
Oh, coconut curry sauce.
Yum, but also jams, dried fruit, dried rind. That looks good. Tastes good too. It should.
It's the best lemon in the world. It comes from the Karoo.
Okay.
It's actually what we call nowhere land because it's so remote. There's absolutely no pollution there. Old, thick-skinned lemon.
Okay.
That has it's about an 18th century lemon.
So their offerings come with stories too. I like it. Honestly, was pulled in so many different directions. There's produce, there's cooked food, there's liquid refreshment, cordials in this case, made with lemon and a lovely hint of mint.
Ooh.
It's great for when you're running. So yeah.
Of course, if you look at me, you know I never spend any time running, so that's no good, but it's still delicious.
A little while ahead, clearly the spirit of Oranjezuk had caught up with me. A burger, but one that's not my usual. I was about to dive into what they call a healthy bunless burger. I know, I couldn't believe it either.
What they did not mention is that it is a meatless burger patty, which, let's be honest, is not my favorite kind of burger patty. However, I must concede that as meatless patties go, it's pretty good actually, not least because of everything they wallop around it. So yeah, I'm going to spend time with my salad since I refuse to call this a burger, bunless or not. I will see you in a bit.
Right, so on that note, with my halo palpably shining brighter, I headed out. There is much to eat, much to enjoy all across Cape Town. I was wondering how I could keep this trend going. I happened upon the Mount Nelson Hotel, not just one of their most famous landmarks, but one where I had been soundly seduced by the high tea and was keen to explore further. The Planet Restaurant then. The sign would indicate a very modern, very out-there experience, but Chef Rudy Leidenberg actually uses it the old school way, because you see, in Planet he's bucking a long-established trend and has devoted his restaurant to doing things just a little differently.
A lot of it is meat focused. Make no mistake. I mean, South Africa is filled with steakhouses everywhere. I wanted to show people that a vegetable's got the same value than a piece of meat. You say, you know what, a carrot's got the same value, and I know it sounds stupid. A carrot is going to have the same value than a piece of meat. They're equal to me. You know, you can't say, and you know, often when people have meat, they say, no, just give me the meat. You know, I don't skip the vegetables. I wanted people to say, you know what, the vegetable's got the same value than the meat. You need to look after it the same way.
And it's clear he does. As the first plate arrives, it has to be said that true to his promise, this looks good enough to hold its own against a slab of steak, and that's saying something. Check it out, I wasn't exaggerating. Mighty spears of asparagus, juicy, crunchy, packed with flavor. I guess sometimes size does matter. But truly, this salad is a triumph of texture and taste, paired as it is with seeds, those lovely Cape Town nasturtiums, and an intriguing smear of cashew nut cheese. No dairy, still delicious.
None of the vegetable dishes or vegetarian dishes we serve must have any milk or egg at all. It had to be completely natural, 100% from the earth. I needed to look after all the vegetarians.
God's truth. You give me food like this, I will not need to touch a piece of meat again.
It's going to become a big movement.
Yeah.
It's going to become a lot bigger than it's been. And I just want to be, one of the four, front runners, if you want to call it that. Because I believe that, it's more than just vegetables and caring for them and doing the right thing. It's eating right. Yeah. Often people don't quite understand, but I mean, you eat vegetables, you'll be surprised how good you feel.
I can tell you I'm feeling pretty terrific as I take on this. Beautiful baby beets served as a celebration of warmth. Seeds, sliced radish and a nettle pesto. It manages to be comforting, surprising, potent and pretty all at the same time. I would have licked the plate clean had I not been distracted by the fact that more beets have made their way to this plate, with pumpkin, with sweet potato, carrot crisps and broad beans done in multiple ways. Some are pureed, some are served whole, and the leaves of the broad beans are deep fried for extra crunch. Can you tell how good it is?
The beauty is, there is nothing, absolutely nothing that meat could add to this. It's just, it's textured, it's layered, it's flavors, it's full of fun, it's just, I'm going to stop talking, it's just delicious. Bottom line, it is delicious.
And then in a symphony of simplicity, crisp sun-soaked lettuce, sweet radish slices, zucchini ribbons and zucchini flowers. So fresh off the farm, they require nothing more than lemon and olive oil to shine.
South Africa grows some of the most beautiful fruits. I mean, we don't always see them, they all get exported. So, but yes, terroir is very important. I mean, you can set little pockets wherever you can see where they grow the most beautiful citrus fruits and the vegetables as well. It's the same thing.
But of course, those were the salads. They were going to be good. The question was how the entrees would hold up under similar constraints. You will not be surprised when I say they held up very well.
The cold dishes is I'd like to keep it a little more simple. This is where I bring a lot more nuts into it, a lot more seeds into it. We've got a lot of Indian influence in South Africa, a lot. So on the main courses, yes, that's where we'll do maybe a little pakora here and there, a little bit more curries. You can understand, in South Africa, there's not a lot of influences for vegetarian food. That is, it's a lot of starch, a lot of meat, and a lot of sauce. That was the influences.
And he's gone well beyond that. Take the medley of mushrooms. There's a tortellini filled with mushrooms and cashew nuts, a portobello mushroom terrine, sauteed oyster mushrooms, pickled mushrooms. It's rich, it's hearty, it's filling, it's delicious. As is this, the final offering.
It's a celebration on cauliflower. That's what it is.
That it is. Cauliflower done like few have seen it before. Some dusted with gram flour and fried, some sauteed, some mixed with cashew nuts for more of that marvelous cheese.
You say, I love the cauliflower, but your fake cheese is the greatest thing. Your non-cheese cheese is awesome.
Now what we did is we took some of the cauliflower, we take potatoes. Yeah. So potatoes gives it that little elasticity that you normally have in cheese, and a little bit of cashew as well in there.
At a certain level, you have to appreciate the big brass guts that it takes to do this in South Africa. To kick this off, this is a country not just committedly carnivorous, it is a country with so many meats at its disposal, and to then say, this is what I want to do, is not just therefore important, it is admirable, I think, and it couldn't have been the most popular move at first.
No, it was not received well.
Right.
The general manager at the time laughed at me, saying, I don't care about vegetables. I don't care about if you put a whole vegetable course. It doesn't make sense.
Well, you have to take a single bite to know who's having the last laugh now. What fun, how tasty, and best of all, I can positively feel the virtue just radiating out of me. It's a new and unexpected sentiment, and since I am patently not used to it, I will be shifting gears and move on to dessert and Durban. You see, during my time there, I was invited for a picnic on the epically lovely lawns of the Makaranga Garden Lodge. It's a breathtaking spread, one that calls for an amble, but it was this spread that I was unsurprisingly drawn to. High tea here meant boulder-sized cupcakes, lemon buttercream in this case, little shish kebabs of fruit and cakes, sticky gooey brownies, even cake pops, because, well, cake pops.
I'm trying to decide which is the most spectacular view, this or this. It's a toss-up at the moment.
Well, it's a bit of both, but our high teas are one of the most important things that we do here. And our gardens also have view to die for. One of the reasons why high teas are still popular, especially in this area, is because people have got they can still come out and enjoy themselves after having lunch, where they have something that's a little bit fancy and also very, very tasty.
Speaking of fancy and tasty, the reason I was here and the reason Makaranga deserves mention was actually this, their cheesecake. I know, who'd have thought I'd travel all the way to Durban to get worked up about this.
What you have over there, you have a gorgonzola cheesecake.
Okay.
It's got a port wine jelly on the top of it, just to give it a bit of an edge.
Edge it has.
Okay, so gorgonzola cheesecake is definitively, absolutely now, without a doubt, the last word in cheesecakes. I can't tell you that sort of, undercurrent of pungency, the creaminess, it's just so good.
You know, it's good days when you can eat like this, and of course we're not nearly done yet. More as always after the break.